Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, and as promised in my last video, we are going to talk about the 10 cheapest schools in Canada for 2024 for international students. Hi, my name is Coach MC and I do videos for international students. I think it's been a while since I created this video. I did 2021 where I featured a lot of schools here in Canada so that you get an idea how much would you pay for your tuition fee. As much as possible, I want students to have cheaper tuition fee because the cost of living in Canada is getting expensive, and right now the only thing you can control is to look for affordable schools in Canada. So we are not just focusing on the tuition fee. We are not just focusing on cheaper schools. We are also considering, when we are recommending a school for you, is the student ratio and the total population of international students in that institution. This is important to take note because if you haven't watched the last video where I talk about the trusted schools that are going to be established next year, this will be one of the factors. Less international students in that institution means less competition. You have less competition when you are getting your part-time job or even your full-time job after graduation. So the average tuition fee for international students in Canada would be around 18,000 Canadian dollars per year. So these schools that I'm going to recommend with you guys will be less than 15,000 per year. And just to give you a rough idea how many international students are going to saturated areas, one best example would be Caledonia College, where they accepted around 21,000 international students last year, 2022. So in this video, I'll give you some schools with less international students. So let's start with Coast Mountain College in British Columbia. The total tuition fee would be around up to 14,000 Canadian dollars per year. And they have a total population of 4,000 registered students. And for the international students, they only have 400 last year. So this is small size compared with Conestoga College. Since you only have 400 international students every year, then you're expecting that you won't have a lot of competition when you're looking for a house or accommodation when you get to Canada. They're also providing on-campus housing for their international students. The only downside at Coast Mountain College is that you will be living in the northern part of British Columbia. This will be closer to Prince George. So if you're going to study here, you should be comfortable in living in a small town, simple life. So check out Coast Mountain College, and most of their programs are in business, healthcare, they have trades, and they also have community services. Our next one would be Lethbridge College in Alberta, and they do have an average tuition fee of 14 to 15,000 Canadian dollars per year. Most of their program focuses on business. They do have technology programs in media, they have community services, some of healthcare programs as well, and they do have engineering courses. And what I like about Lethbridge College is the population, again, is smaller than other saturated schools in Canada. They only have 4,000 international students last year. And they also highlight that they have a small teacher to student ratio. They said that they do have 1:15. So that's actually small compared with other schools. And if you're going to study and live in Lethbridge, you will be paying lower than someone living in Calgary. They have lower cost of living compared in Calgary. Calgary right now is becoming expensive because a lot of people from Vancouver are now moving to Calgary. And you know that when there are so many people are moving to one place, then everything is becoming expensive. Next one is in British Columbia, and that would be the Comoson College in Victoria. So this one, they have a total population of 14,000 registered students. There are only 1,700 international students, and they do have a lot of programs on trades, healthcare, business program, and the average tuition fee here is lower than 15,000 Canadian dollars per year. And there's so many opportunities here on Vancouver Island because, again, we're actually really closer to Vancouver, but not so much because you still have to, like take the ferry going to Vancouver. But you get the chance to enjoy the weather in British Columbia without living in Vancouver. The only downside of living in Victoria is the cost of living because that's actually one of the most expensive cities in Canada. We actually made a video on apartment tour. If you haven't watched that, you can watch it later. But again, after graduation, you don't have to stay in Victoria. There are other cities within the island that you can actually explore. You can move to Nanaimo, Parksville, Comox, Campbell River. So we bought this house less than 500,000 and you have a great view. So this is actually nothing compared with other cities in British Columbia. When you are going to live in BC, it is important to consider the housing market. Is it affordable if you decided to stay here after graduation? And let's say you wanted to live in Vancouver, then you have Kwantlen Polytechnic University. There are few programs that you can take there that is really affordable compared with other schools. They have around 24,000 Canadian dollars for a 2-year program, and it's a post-baccalaureate program for international students. And they also claim that they have 96% employment rate in their business program, especially marketing. If you wanted to stay in Vancouver, Metro Vancouver, without paying 20,000 Canadian dollars per year as an international student, consider Kwantlen Polytechnic University. And also living in Langley or Surrey will be a cheaper option than living in downtown Vancouver. And the total population of international students at Kwantlen Polytechnic University would be around 8,000 international students. So it's still low. You cannot compare this with Lethbridge or Coast Mountain College because you're right next to Metro Vancouver. Next one would be College of New Caledonia in Prince George. This is closer to Coast Mountain College, but they have different programs that you can choose. One of the most affordable program that you can find here would be tourism management, and you're only gonna pay around 21,000 Canadian dollars for a 2-year program. And other programs will be going to be about 26,000 Canadian dollars for the whole 2-year program. So they have business, they have trades, they have community services. So check out their website. We also have a mentor, guys, from these schools. If you need help, we can actually share our experience with you. Other students in SLE can share their experience so that you can get first-hand information from those student mentors. So for College of New Caledonia, they only have 1,700 international students. And still in Northern British Columbia would be the Northern Lights College. I made a video about it. They have one of the most affordable tuition fee here in Canada for international students. They also have less population of international students with less than 1,000 per year. So that's great. You don't have a lot of competition with jobs and housing. So for this school, the only downside is that it is hard to get a seat. It's hard to get the letter of acceptance. They close right away because they have limited slots for international students. So if you're eyeing to apply at this school, I actually include this school in this video where one of the most competitive schools. If you wanted to apply at a Northern Lights College, you have to make sure that you apply as early as possible. They actually close the slot in less than like an hour. Do it, start as early as possible. So let's move to Atlantic, one of the most affordable provinces here in Canada. They have affordable housing and again, tuition fee. New Brunswick Community College is the one that I'm talking about. So New Brunswick Community College, the average tuition fee will be around 11,000 Canadian dollars per year. So you're only paying $22,000 for 2-year program. And they have a lot of programs in business, healthcare, they have trades, technology, name it. The only downside of going to New Brunswick is you have to double check if you are in demand in New Brunswick. There are so many jobs in healthcare and also in restaurants. So if you're in technology sector, you might have a hard time getting a job, but I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's just that there are not so much jobs available for you compared in British Columbia or Alberta. So the total population in New Brunswick Community College for international students is around 1,800. So it is small. And they have a 92% employment rate. But then again, you have to double check if you're actually in demand in New Brunswick. So now in our number 1 spot, thank you for watching until to this part. So the number 1 spot is University of Victoria. I already shared this video before about UVic, and the tuition fee for Diploma Business Administration is around 16,000 Canadian dollars for a 2-year program. But with other programs at University of Victoria is actually expensive. So they have a total population of registered students around 16,000. And the only total population of international student is, give me a sec, 4,000 international students. And they're claiming that most of their business students have an employment rate of 91%. So personally, I love Victoria. I lived there before, I worked there before. My only concern is the cost of living. And that's the main reason I move out. So you can study there, but I do not recommend that you live there. Move up north after graduation. So thank you guys for watching this video. So in our next video, let's talk about the schools with highest acceptance rate. Thank you guys for watching. Also, don't forget to visit our website, studylivexploreca.com. We can help you get into these schools and also give you mentors who are studying at these schools. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.